go back to Joshua chapter 5, verse 13 if you can. If not, I think we're going to have it on our screens, but I'll read it. This is actually how Joshua should have started the battle. Joshua chapter 5, verse 13, it says, "And it came to pass, when Joshua was by Jericho, that he lifted his eyes and looked, and behold, a man stood opposite him with his sword drawn in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, 'Are you for us or for our adversaries?' So he said, 'No.'" I love that answer. I don't have time to dive into this, but I'm going to do it anyways because it cracks me up. Here's Joshua. I picture the scene. He's planning to go to war. He's probably has his battle maps in front of him. He has his soldiers, his high command soldiers surrounding him. They're being like, "This is how we're going to go in and attack Jericho. This is our plan. Let's get this ready. You guys, unit 1, you're over there. Unit 2, you're over there." And then suddenly, as they're planning, this dude shows up. And he has a sword. And nobody knows who he is. And Joshua's like, "Who's that guy? What's he doing here?" And so you can see Joshua, right? He's the general. I'm going to put that in quotes for a reason. And he pulls out his sword, and I could see him pointing it at. I don't actually know if any of this happened, but I could see Joshua pulling out his sword, pointing at him. He's like, "Hey, who are you, buddy? You on our side? Are you one of my soldiers? Or are you for the enemy?" And I love what the guy says. He says, "No." That's not a proper response. What do you mean, no? It was a proper response because the two choices Joshua gave him was, are you on my side or are you on the enemy side? Both of those were not an option. Both of those were incorrect. He says no, and then he says, "But as commander," stop right there. I thought Joshua was a commander. Wrong. This guy was in charge. "But as commander of the army of the Lord, I have now come." And he's basically like, I'm here to take control, Joshua, just in case you forgot. You're not in charge of this. You're following my orders. And Joshua fell on his face to the earth and worshiped and said to him, "What does my Lord say to his servant?" And like we talked about earlier, this was a Christophany. Lord capitalized, Jesus, God appearing in the Old Testament. Why was Jericho's battle so successful? I would argue it's because of this one occurrence. It was because Joshua worshiped God and met face to face with God before the battle.